For marketing, it mostly means that in the product company, marketing is part of the product. The message needs to be aligned because if it's not, you will just attract wrong people to the product and you will just waste the resources. Oh, I see we have a nice audience here. Kuba, up to you.
By the way, I didn't plan to have, rotated my picture on the first slide. Okay, let's start. So, how do we allocate the monthly budget in a company? Or who is interested in our product? How can attract high-value customers, right? And how do we track channel performance? I'm pretty sure that most of you met those challenges: efficient budget allocation, optimization and hypothesis validation, targeting and tracking and attribution. And there's no doubt that marketing is tough, right? And most of you probably struggling with those things. So the question is, who can help in such a situation? Maybe engineering team, right? Have you ever wondered what all of those weirdos from engineering team are doing in day-to-day and why they don't use their magic skills? They are shouting so much in a kitchen, in an office every day. And by the way, I'm one of those weirdos because I'm a software engineer also. I will tell you something. They can help you, we can help you, but we have no idea how we can help you. And to explain you why, to explain you how we can help you, first I need to make sure that we are on the same page in some area. So, have you ever wondered what links Star Wars, what it has in common, Star Wars and marketing together? And I'm not talking here about universally recognized brand, which is Star Wars, of course, everybody knows that. But I'm talking here about something like what I call Star Wars syndrome. Now I'm saying that half of you is checking, Googling, and okay, but it is my private terminology, okay? Maybe someday it will be famous. And the thing is that when the first time I joined marketing meetings, and they started talking about LTV, CTR, CAC, etc., I was wondering what they're talking about. I thought they are talking about, those droids. So the question is, how could I possibly help them if I was picturing in my head C3PO whenever they were talking about marketing key performance metrics? It was impossible. It was crazy. So we are here to demystify those terms. We are here to show you how bridging the gap between marketing team and engineering team can drive your success as a company. It is a very interesting story. So in Xapo Bank, where I work, we went very long and winding path from Star Wars syndrome to streamlined channel attribution to real-time data available in all platforms, advertising platforms. We have now real-time data available in those platforms, feeding algorithms. And this path was really crazy. And we've started from engineering, totally detached from marketing. And with passing time, we gained proper knowledge, and we integrated CDP platform, Twilio segment, and engineering engaged much more, understood the problems there are, and with passing time, we came to the point where we have fully cooperating teams together, marketing and engineering. Now I will pass voice to Adrian.
Before we jump into how we are writing the marketing playbook, I owe you some context, right? Because you probably don't know what Xapo is. And it's quite an interesting story because we at Xapo Bank believe that Bitcoin will do for money what internet did for information. We believe that Bitcoin is actually an important part of your future pension, and we believe that Bitcoin is actually a way to build a generational wealth. And the story of Xapo is actually quite interesting because we were founded in 2013. In crypto industry, this is basically a light years, and testimonials for us. At some point, we stored over 9% of all Bitcoins in our cold storage. We are currently the biggest hodlers of BTC in the world. And If you don't believe me, you can watch actually the Netflix documentary about our founder, who is talking, for example, about the vault in a military base under the Swiss mountain. And because we are offshore bank, we actually really believe in the security of your funds. You can have 1% annually on your Bitcoin with us. You can have over 4% on USD you store with us. And question for the audience we have here. Who knows what Bitcoin is? Maybe you own some? Yeah, there's some hands. Awesome. So we came with 3 steps, basically. The first was actually changing the mindset in the company, how the teams own the challenges, building the product mindset. The next step for the better cross-team alignment was actually bridging the gap between the marketing and the engineers. So they have the common language, they have aligned objectives. The last step was actually having the one tooling for everything, enhancing the tracking and attribution, having the full overview of the funnel for the customers, and having this automatic feedback loop that works 24/7. When it comes to instilling the product mindset, there is this book by Marty Kagan, Empowered. This is like a Bible almost to half of the company at Xapo. And it took us around 24 months to actually build the product mindset in the engineering organization. And the engineers, by that time, the engineers have the product mindset. They know how to make data-driven decisions. And it might seem obvious, right? But it's really hard to execute on that. In the beginning, everyone in the engineering were working just on the chunk of their product part. But now they are thinking in a much wider scope. With time passing, we knew that the product company lives not from the coding, but from the product that it codes. And this can be actually translated to every department in the company. For marketing, it mostly means that in the product company, marketing is part of the product. The message needs to be aligned, because if it's not, you will just attract wrong people to the product and you will just waste the resources. So first thing we take on the table was the conversion rate. And after a few months, we basically improved the conversion by 9x. This is an astonishing improvement, right? And we knew at some point when engineers came to us that and started asking, hey, I can improve the conversion rate by 0.5%, but maybe I can use my knowledge and skills and leverage it in other place in the company. And actually, at this point, we knew that our engineers are ready to take on different department and help someone else, and this was the marketing team. So Kuba talked about the 4 problems, the 4 challenges you all face, right? For those challenges, we found solutions for marketing, and those solutions became actually the challenges for the engineering team. Things like data quality, integration with ads platform, those things take a lot of time, right? And you need to do it perfectly and be compliant with all the GDPR and privacy laws. We didn't want to have scattered metrics. We wanted to have one tool for everyone where we can actually see the whole overview of the funnel. And we wanted to have a unified user identity. So we know who the user is, clicking from the ad to some deep funnel functionality. And the last final boss you want to actually get right is this automatic data feeding. You don't want manual processes, you want automatic processes there. Up to you, Kuba.
Okay, so before starting the whole revolution in Xapo, we actually realized we are not speaking the same language, right? And imagine this all teams operating independently, what led us to this defragmented approach. Different teams are using distinct funnels. Different teams are using different metric definitions. It is leading to inconsistency. It is causing a lot of confusion. And each team even was calling user in different stage of the funnel, like visitor, qualified lead, etc. It was not unified at all across the entire organization. So imagine if we have such an environment, is it possible to find high-value customers? I can tell you something. No, it's not. And the thing is that we realized we have to start speaking the same language. It was one of the first goals we had. So we introduced unified definition for the funnel. We introduced very specific funnel stages definitions, and it was very, very clear from that point when a user becomes lead, when stops becoming lead and is becoming qualified lead, prospect, etc., etc. Here you can see a few examples of how we call funnel stages on top of the funnel, but we have much more stages, also deeper in the funnel. The last very important, actually not last, very important piece was integration with tooling. We needed some go-to tool like that is showing us, visualize for us funnel, and we were able to do some analysis around onboarding. Every single person in the company is engaged into analyzing that information, and we use for that purpose Amplitude. But something needs to feed data to Amplitude, and the most efficient and powerful way was Twilio segment, and we are using this data there. And also we have some kind of dashboards created which are operating on the post-processing data, which are more reliable, but for many purposes Amplitude is perfect for us. And the last piece here was aligning metrics and definitions. We had to understand metrics in the same way. So we introduced few different categories, high-level business metrics. Some conversions in a specific points of the funnel were taken into consideration for strategic business decisions, but we have also more granular one, like L1, L2, for deeper insight into the funnel. After having common language, we had the other problem. Okay, we don't have aligned at all goals. Probably most of you can remember this game with King Kong throwing bottles. You can imagine that exactly this way our cooperation looked like. You know, marketing team throwing the barrels with leads. Guys, okay, job is done from our side. Perfect, our numbers are growing. Take care about them. Down the funnel, growth dashboard, in a growth team or activation team. You can probably imagine that there was no feedback loop. We were not able to validate between teams what is quality of those leads passed down the funnel, right? It was a very big problem. But of course, we came to the point where we had something what I call blaming party. During the blaming party, everybody was saying, okay, it is your fault because you're coming to us with low quality leads. Yeah, perfect, job is done. We don't need to care about that because marketing will take care. On the other side, we had, guys, you have no idea how to activate those users to make them converted. It is activation problem. And it was this ping pong party, and we realized we have to change that. What we did, we introduced something what we call effective hands-off. We wanted to have as smooth as possible passing the leads, people between teams, and in those areas that are covering, we knew that we have to educate people how to pass those users effectively between those stages. And we understood that they need to start communicating, start understanding the quality of the traffic, etc. We introduced some interlocking metrics. For example, this growth team, where I'm working with whom I'm working with, and a marketing team started talking about, okay, how this audience is performing, etc., etc. With this kind of cooperation, jumped to the party engineering team. And they started saying, guys, why we cannot, to marketing team, guys, why we cannot, for example, implement this, and this experiment easier? We can validate your hypothesis within 2 days, not 2 weeks, like before. And everybody was saying, let's do it. Okay, let's do it. So it means that engineers understanding the outcome, started suggesting some trade-offs that were not compromising the quality of experiment and results of experiment. So those effective hands-off helped here. Also, of course, enhanced communication, weekly and daily basis communication, some things, etc., between engineering team, product teams, and those teams from marketing. And it was working. It started working really well. And of course, as always, something new happened. Boom. How we can automate this efficient feedback loop. As you probably know, the most efficient ways of building the product, it is set some hypothesis, later design experiment, go with that experiment to production, analyze a result, learn something from that, and boom, you have some result. You can, based on that, you are making some business strategic decisions. Okay, but how to do that fast and efficient way? The problem is that we needed something what will take our data and we will utilize the power of this data, the power of high-value customers' behavior on top of the funnel. We needed something what will allow us to integrate fast with different advertising platforms, to test different channels effectively. We needed something what will allow us to build like this very easily without support of engineers, audiences, dynamic audiences, share conversion events with their external tools, and of course, take care about privacy and compliance. By the way, we are a bank, so we need to take care about that. And Twilio segment gave us all of that. And it was amazing journey because they not only gave us the tool, but they taught us how to work with that data in a proper way. The last very important piece, one of the most interesting, in my opinion, from engineering point of view, right? It was unified user journey. Imagine that you can check, for example, a user who is touching your brand here today, visiting your website. Later, you are doing some nurturing, and you are able to see the journey of that user through the whole entire life cycle at the end of existence of that user in your system, even few years. Because we have one unified user journey. Segment allowed us to handle those anonymous users and very advanced technology for user identity resolution that we see all of that. And imagine how powerful decisions we can make based on that and what is the thing we get from this data. And now I will pass again voice to Adrian.
Thank you. So as you can see, the business results, the business impact on us was astonishing. We basically have 10 times more customers daily acquired because of that. And we improved the conversion rate by 9 times. And this is just in mere months. It didn't take us like years to be there. The 10x is basically work of last 4 months only. We have ability to experiment and have idea and implementation in production in 1 day. And we redefine the boundaries of the teams, of the engineering and marketing. And because of that, we have much happier teams, much happier individuals, and much more aligned goals and objectives. But do you know what is our biggest achievement here? We have this automatic algorithmic feedback loop for marketing that is basically fueling itself 24/7, 365 days a year. And it's not only about conversion events, it's also about audiences in different shapes and forms. And there is almost zero manual work. It's pure automation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.